Hey folks, it's amazing how a close game ended up turning into a blowout. I beat this dude by 14 points, and it was real competitive all the way till the end of the game. But once again, I came out on top, man. I outsmarted him, focused, and I came out with the victory. But I want to show you this game because he put up a good fight, and he didn't play nowhere near his level, his rating. So I want to show you this game. But yeah, I end up, blowing him out. Even though it was a blowout, it didn't feel like one. It felt like a very tense game, and he was really getting me, man. He was a smart player. So check this game out. But at the end, I ended up making him quit because he knew that I had came out on top, and I overwhelmed him with my superior chess skills. So check this game out. All right, folks. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Real good game here. I was white, he was black. I moved up. He threatened me, and this is why I knew he was kind of slick when he made that move. I'm like, damn. Usually I want to move my knight out, so that I can castle early. But I couldn't do that in this game because he moved his pawn down, so I had to move my... I didn't want to move this knight up because I wasn't sure if he had moved down here, and I just had to move the knight back. So I just moved the queen up at the moment. So I moved back when I seen what he was trying to do, and then I had to move my bishop up, protecting him. But I don't like to move my bishop up. I like to move my knight, but I can't move my knight because he blocked that all. So that's a real good move that I may even have to practice when I'm playing black. He moved down there, and I had to castle early, get that out the way. He did the same thing. So I knew from the start he was a pretty good player, man. He threatened him, and I just wanted to move up here to give this piece more protection in case I had to move the white bishop later. He moved down, and I moved up here to stop the knight from coming here. So he moved down there, threatening him, and I'm like, okay, I'll take him and threaten your knight. He had to move his knight down somewhere. I moved further up with my other pawn, and he had to move his knight back. But I didn't like the fact that I had two pawns on a double pawns like that on one row. So I moved my knight back down so that my bishop back down so that I'll eventually be able to move this knight here, because he was pinning my knight down because my queen was left unprotected. Left open. So he did that, and I took him. I knew that's eventually what he wanted to do. And he moved that down. I figured I'll take him because my rook is protecting him and my bishop protecting him. So he moved down there. I moved up. And I'm going to show y'all where the real tricky situation was at later on this side of the board. It got real tricky over here eventually. This is a long, hard-fought battle. I moved up, giving him more protection. He still can't take this pawn here because my queen and my rook. So then he threatens my rook, and then I move my bishop up. He takes him. I take him. He moved the knight down, threatening this piece. So what I had to do was move him up so that I can protect him not only with my rook but with my queen. But then he moved down and he threatened my queen and my rook, and I said, fuck. That's when I was fucked up. He got me there, and I was so fucking mad. I was angry with myself. Move him down once. So I said, I just gotta refocus, man. I'm still in the game. I'm only down by 1 point, but he took a major piece, power piece. So I had to move him up, and now my main focus is just trying to get another queen. But I'm like, damn. Then he took him. I wasn't focusing, seeing that his queen had him protected. So man, he just really had me in this part of the game, and I was really just angry with myself. I couldn't move him up because the queen right there. I couldn't even take him because his knight. So I'm like, damn, what I'm gonna do? So what I do was move my knight up, giving him protection. And he moved there, so then I moved up, threatening not only his knight but threatening his rook. So then he moved down. I'm like, what do I do now? And the best, I couldn't move up because he still got his knight and his queen there. So at this moment, I'm trying to think here. Oh yeah, I couldn't take his rook neither because he was threatening my queen at this point. So I had to do something. Moved over. He moved his rook up. And then I seen that this piece was hanging. I decided to take him. So he moved there, and And I said, bam, let me have another piece. So I felt I was getting back into the game, but he still played smart and moved down. Once again, threatening this piece here. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to scare him now. I'm glad that I moved his knight up. I'm going to move right there, bang, threatening his knight, his queen. So now, this is when we started taking real long to make moves. He was taking like 5 minutes. I was taking like 5 minutes to make a move because we wanted to both come out on top in an exchange. So he threatened him, and I moved down here because I figure I can still threaten him and take him. So what he did was kept trying to threaten my queen, so I backed up over here. I didn't want him to take this piece with the rook. So he moved down. I'm like, damn, what I'm going to do? So I had no other choice but to just take his queen. He took mine, and I threatened him, but then he took that. So once again, he leading 23-22. There was nothing I can do at that point because I'm like, man, we're going to just keep going back and forth with this, trying to get the queen thing. So let me just get over that and just try to play smart and threaten something over here with my knight, my bishop, and him. So I moved him up because I wanted to be able to let my queen get an outlet because I figured he could come down here and put me in a checkmate because there was nowhere for my king to move. So, bam, that's where I got him. Check, took his rook. And that's when I started leading 27-23. And then he took him, but then I moved up, bang, put him into check again. And see, if I hadn't did what I did earlier, he could have moved down here. If that pawn was there, put me in a check, I would have moved here, he would have took him. I would have moved here, he would have took him and put me in a checkmate. So that's the reason why I moved that pawn earlier, just in case later he put me in a situation where he could checkmate me. So at this point in the game, I felt confident, but this is where he got me, folks. He got me right here. Because now he gonna take one of these pieces. I didn't want him to take my rook, so I said, fuck it, let me just let him have the bishop. Start moving my pawn up. I protected him, but then this is what he did, and I'm like, what I'm gonna do? So I said, fuck it, I gotta take him. He took him, but then I moved over. It probably would have been best if he took that pawn right then. He didn't do that. He wanted to get greedy and threaten him. And then this what happened. I moved over here. But then he didn't want to take him down because I can take his pawn. So it would have been best if he would have took that pawn earlier on. And now he moved over. But then I'm going to start moving my piece up. And ain't nothing he can do to stop this. Me advancing from a queen. See? Now it's over. Just start fucking him up after that. Got my queen back. Now it's 33-24. Check. Check. Took that rook. Bang. It was over. He quit. Beat him 38-24. 14-point ass whooping.